I have a few geometry definitions I want to review with you, and they are the ones that you will commonly see throughout your geometry math career. First of all, what's a transversal? A transversal is a line that passes through two parallel lines in the same plane at two distinct points. Well, what are the distinct points that they mean when they say that? The ones right here where they intersect, and right here where this parallel line intersects with the transversal. So those are the two distinct or two different points. Well, what are parallel lines? Parallel lines are infinite straight lines that do not intersect at any point. These two lines will never intersect, never meet, never cross each other, never touch. They are parallel lines. So let's define perpendicular lines. Okay, so parallel lines never intersect, but guess what? Perpendicular lines always intersect. And when they intersect, they form a right angle. That is an angle that is 90 degrees at the point where they intersect. And here's a picture. So if you have two lines that intersect like this, and they form a right angle, which is indicated by this square, they are perpendicular lines. Okay, so make sure you learn the difference between parallel lines and perpendicular lines, because there are a lot of things that happen based on whether they're parallel or if they're perpendicular. And we can cover some of that in another video. But right now, just definitions and examples, okay? So what is an angle? An angle is what is formed when two lines or rays meet at a common point or vertex. And here's an example of two angles. And I'm going to do a video on all the different types of angles, but the important thing to remember for the definition is that the space between the two lines is an angle and is formed because the lines intersect right at a point right there. That's the vertex. So two lines that intersect at a common point, they intersect, they form an angle. Now, this is 7th and 8th grade math, so you should have some discussions about this also, or it may be on a standardized test. We want to make sure you understand what alternating exterior angles are and what alternating interior angles are. First of all, they both are true only when you have parallel lines. So if you have perpendicular lines, you will not have alternating interior angles or alternating exterior angles. So the exterior angles, simplest way to remember it is find your parallel lines. Here's line 1, here's line 2. Look at the angles on the outside of the lines. So these are your exterior angles, right? And interior angles are the angles that are between the parallel lines. And so all of the angles that are inside or in between the parallel lines are your interior angles. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 interior angles. They are called alternate exterior angles and alternate interior angles because the angles are on opposite sides of the transversal. And we just talked about the transversal. This is your transversal. And so you can see exterior, and on the opposite side of the transversal, an exterior angle. Here is an exterior angle. On the opposite side of the transversal, another exterior angle. And the same holds true for interior angles. You have one here, and on the opposite side of the transversal, you have one right here. And when You look at this side, you have another interior angle here, and one here. And the important thing to remember is if the angles are on opposite sides of the transversal, they have this exact same size. So if you get a problem and it tells you that this is a, let's just say 100-degree angle, if I can write it, then you automatically know that this one would be 100-degree angle because they're equal. So last but not least, we're going to talk about a plane. And it's not the kind you fly on, but it is a flat surface that goes on indefinitely, and it has no thickness. So everything we've talked about today, the transversal, the parallel lines, the perpendicular lines, the angles, all of those things lie on a plane. And the plane is used to conduct our geometric analytics, if you would. So just remember that we can say a white sheet of paper is a plane. It's just an easy example to use, but it really isn't a plane because it has a limited size. A real plane, there is no limit to the size it can be. But with all your math in 7th and 8th grade, you're going to be using this type of plane to plot your points and lines and angles and figure things out. Okay, so that is all I had for you today. I hope that these definitions help you. There are only a few. There are a lot more things we can talk about and a lot more definitions and examples I can give you. But for now, let's just know that these will help you get started. Have a great school year this year. This is Grandma T. See you next time.